So, 5 money secrets that you should know them by the time you're hitting 35. Oh, and by the way, in case you're watching me and you're not 35, you've already surpassed that particular age, it does not mean these things are not learnable. It doesn't mean that now, hey, you know what? Just take this idea, take it at the back of the house and shoot it. No, you can still learn something. This is good, Joseph. In case you're watching me for the first time, and by the way, I love you guys coming and watching my videos. This channel is actually where it is because of you. So, deep inside of my heart, thank you very much. So now, what are these signs? First of all, oh, by the way, if you have never subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Okay. Now, first thing that you're supposed to understand is that there are 3 types of income. You should know this by the time you're 35, okay? There are 3 types of income. One, they're the income, we call them the active income. Active income. What does that mean? Probably you watching this video, you're watching it, let's say you're using the Wi-Fi of the company that has employed you. Or maybe you're watching this from where you usually do your job or you're employed. That is an active income. Why is it active? Energy is involved, time is involved. You have to be there for that money to be made. By the way, you know, there are people who don't know that you can actually make money without even doing anything. Have you ever heard of people saying, how can I make money when I'm sleeping? It is possible. Now, when you talk about active income, this is money that you solely make it when you are involved, you are active. Money cannot come in. Let's say you are a teacher. You have to go there in that particular class, show up, teach. At the end of the month, you can get that paycheck. That is an active income. So you should know that. Another type of income that you should know by the age of 25 or rather 35 is what we call the passive income. Now, the passive income, this is the part, or this is kind of the money that you earn when you are partially involved or you are solely not involved. Let's say, for example, you have saved yourself 1 million somewhere, okay? And I say, let's talk big numbers in this channel. Let's say you've saved 1 million somewhere, and then you have identified an opportunity. Let's say there is a car that is being sold, and you know if I buy this car, I can be able to resell it at a good profit. Or maybe let's say there is a particular thing that you can actually buy with that money, then you sell it, then you make money. You are involved, but not that actively. Are you getting what I'm saying? Or you can get that money, invest it, let's say in stocks or in something like that. That is a passive income. You are either less involved or you are totally not involved. Now, that takes us to that type of income, which is called the residual. The residual income. Now, this is where we should all aim to reach. This is solely where money is working for you purely. You are not involved. Things are just running on themselves. Let's say you are a real estate mogul. You've invested in real estate. You have some MMF somewhere. You have some government security somewhere. You have yourself some index fund. You have some bond fund somewhere, balance fund, equity funds. You have some stocks and shares. Let's say you are a venture capitalist. You've invested in a certain business. Some people are running the business. While else you are doing so. Now, this is where now we say that you are totally an entrepreneur. Hey, that name is quite long. That is when we say you're now what? An entrepreneur. When things and the systems are working for you, now that is when you earn a residual income. Now, by the time you hit 35, you should know that there are 3 types of income. And this is how we move. We shift from here to this, to this, to this. When you are young and active, sure, you are working on your active income as you invest on things that give you passive income and ultimately convert them to a residual income. Have you gotten something so far? Come on, go ahead and hit that like button, okay? And make sure that you subscribe. Now, the second part or the second thing that you should know by the time you hit 35 is that nobody employs you to be rich. Nobody employs you to be rich. And this is why you find most of the people usually take the placards and say, hey, you know, in Kenya we say haki yetu, you know, our rights and whatever. You know, there's nowhere you'll ever get employed to a point whereby that the employer considers you being wealthy and rich. Nobody's in a business of making you wealthy. Nobody, I can tell you for sure. So when you understand that nobody employs you to be rich, no matter how much you're gonna be paid, even that salary that you're being paid right now, even if they 3x it, meaning that they give you 3 times of that, still they already know and they have studied your psychology. They know if they add you, let's say double of what you earn, they know you'll shift from where you live. They know you'll shift the type of a car you drive. They know you'll shift where you usually hang around because it comes with status. They know at the end of the day, you'll actually bring down that, you know, that amount of money that's actually been increased to the normal lifestyle, and you'll still complain. For example, if you come to Kenya, I don't think there are people who are getting paid, let's say politicians, for example, the member of parliament or the equivalent of Congress, if you're watching this from America, you find that these guys, they earn a lot of money. For example, in Kenya, they actually, time to time, they, sort of revise the rules and laws and whatever to add more salary to their lives. And these are guys who are making over $1 million in a month. That is over 10,000, dollars in a month. So, I mean, seriously, so the point is there is nobody who is in a business of employing you to become wealthy. Becoming wealthy, it's solely your own decision. You make that particular decision and you actually structure the way to actually reach that particular point, okay? We're going to the third one. The third thing that you should know before you hit your 35 years is that you should know that the later you start to invest, the steep the gradient to climb. This one I want to explain it in a very, very systematic way. I have to say it again. The late you start to invest, the steep the gradient that you will have to climb. For example, let's say all of a sudden you start watching Good Joseph when you are at your 50. Okay, 50 years, and you have to retire at 60 years. Of course, retirement comes with you being fired. It's a humble, it's a humble firing. You get fired. Now you only have 10 years. Okay, you have 10 years to create a system that will actually be sustaining you, to create a system that will be sustaining you. You only have 10 years. And probably, let's say, you usually survive on a salary of 200K in a month. Therefore, it means you need not less than 20 million invested for you to earn this amount of money, assuming that you're getting an approximate of 10% return in an year. This is what you need. And the question is, it means you have a very tight period of time. Therefore, it means you have to save a lot for you to achieve this amount of money by this period of time. And probably when you're at your 50, probably you have kids who are in university. Maybe you're still paying bills here and there. What if you have not even built your own home? The rent is still on you. The rent is still on your shoulders. You still have kids on your house who are paying the school fees and what have you. What if on top of that, there is a certain lifestyle that you've gotten yourself into and you're already an addict of that lifestyle? You hardly can shift out of it. So it becomes a very steep for you to do that. What if you happen to watch this video and you're watching it, let's say at 25 years, by any chance you are lucky to watch Good Joseph for this particular period of time, and then you realize you need the similar amount of money. This guy has 10 years. For you, you have like 35 years to do that. The gradient to climb actually is not that steep. You can actually go ahead. For example, let's say probably this guy needs to save approximately, let's say 200K in a month. What if this guy, let's say, earns like 400K in a month? Like literally half of his salary has to be saved for him to achieve this particular goal. I'm just throwing random numbers there. This guy doesn't have to save 200,000 in a month. Probably if you throw, let's say, 20K in a month. I've not done the mathematics. You can do the calculations. You throw this money in a return that gives you 10% in an year, in a period of 35 years. Wow, I believe that could be could be a very, very big amount of money out there. So you see, this guy, okay, of course, you may argue the guy is not earning 400,000. Probably, let's say this guy is earning 80K, of which you might be lucky. You must be lucky for you to earn this amount of money at this age. Now, the point is, you find that the gradient isn't that steep. You still have time. You can leverage on time. That is the point number 3. The point number 4, as far as the money is concerned, by the time you hit that particular age, is that the more you become yourself, the more you lose them. It's lonely up there. I have to repeat. The more you become you, the more you lose them. Wow, what does that mean, Joseph? Good, let me explain. The day you realize, or the day you will decide to become yourself, that is the day that you lose a lot of people. When I say lose, I mean like you'll have less and less friends around you. If you can study the psychology of most of the people, not only in Kenya, but globally, most people tend to gravitate towards comfort, towards the thing that entertain them. The moment you decide to become different, let's say you want to go to a gym and, doing the workouts. Of course, you need people who can motivate you to do that, isn't it? Number 2, let's say you decide to improve on the way you speak, the way you articulate issues, the way you dress. Let's say you start not taking alcohol. Let's say, for example, you've decided or you realize that alcohol is actually taking a chunk of your cash that could be channeled towards something that can be more productive for you. You decide to cease drinking. Definitely, you're going to lose the guys whom you are drinking with. Let's say you decide to do something extra. Sometimes, let's say even you decide to marry, and some of the guys who you hang around don't believe in marriage, it's just, I mean, the day you start working on yourself, that's the day you start losing a lot of people, especially when you decide, you know what, I'm going to use this kind of lifestyle called frugality or minimalism. Well, of course, not the rest of my life, but for a certain period of time, so that I may ultimately in future be able to do what? To gain something. But most of the people are not ready to do that. Most of the people, they want what we call the instant gratification. By the way, statistically, do you know if you decide, do you know everyone knows what they need to do for them to be successful, but nobody is ready to pay the cost. Everyone can count the cost, but no one is ready to pay the cost. Let's say we decide that for you to get a six-pack, we have to do, let's say, 300 push-up in a day. We have to do some deadlifts. We have to do some push-up. We have to do some, let's say we have to do that, and we have to dedicate, let's say, an hour of the day. How many do you think they are ready to do that 1 hour today, tomorrow, continuously without giving up along the way? Most of the people, they usually say approximately 95% of the people will drop out. That's it. And the fourth one is none other than, by the time you hit 35, this is what you're supposed to know, or rather the fifth one per se, is that your grit, or your wealth grows by specialization. Or you can only create wealth by specialization, and you only safeguard it by diversification. Let nobody lies to you. Nobody has ever created wealth by having multiple things at the same time. I have to repeat. Everyone whom you get along the way, they are wealthy. Nobody got rich by two things or three things. No, it's only one thing. I know what you're about to say. No, but most of the billionaires in my country, they usually have this and that. Yes, after they did what? They specialized on one thing. After they specialized on one thing, you become an expert of that one thing. That one thing gets you money, creates you wealth, and then you start diversifying, putting that money. Then now you're more safeguarding as much as you want to grow it. You cannot, at the beginning, you become a content creator at the same time you want to become a farmer at the same time you want to do, unless you're doing a content creation on farming. Things that are actually marrying each other. But now you are here, you are there, you are all over the place. No, you pick one area, you pick one niche, you become an expert to that. Let no one ever be the best than you. You become an expert on that particular area. That's how you amass, that's how you create, that's how you progress, that's how you move to the next level. And then once after you've become a very expert, let's say for example you are good at selling this pen. You are known for selling this particular pen. For example, there is a guy whom I usually watch on YouTube. I don't know where he went nowadays. I forgot his name. He used to be a very good door salesperson. He was so funny. I mean, the way he could pull up himself or show up to your doorstep, and the way he talks is so funny. There were some videos going viral about him and what have you. Probably where he is right now is doing good in his life. And it all started by him being a salesperson. It has to be a particular thing. Let's say you're very good at, it has to be one thing, my dear friends and my brothers and sisters. It has to start from one thing. Then you diversify early after you become an expert of this. The problem that people do is that you pick one thing before you become an expert, you shift, go to another one, you become a jack of all trades and a master of none. That isn't how you actually create wealth. That's why we say you create wealth by specialization and you safeguard it by diversification. And that's it, guys. That's good, Joseph. See you in the next one. By the way, don't forget, that happens to be in my number. You can give me a call, shoot me a text on WhatsApp. Let's talk business. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.